All right. We're here for another Thatbeastz Scrim. Doing the coacherinos, helping the boy out. Want to make sure he gets the opportunity to, get this stuff done. Let's see what we got. So I believe Beast is subbing in to support this game. I could be incorrect in that notion, but I believe that is the case. Starting out with a Nejab ban here. Dodgy ban coming in next. Fairly standard bans. Aladdin's coming in through. Just kind of the stomp characters for this elo range, I feel like. Not really much of a surprise here really coming out. I think we're kind of in the realm of normality, at least in this aspect. Now, interested to see what we're gonna get coming through here. Nuwa coming out. I know Nuwa after the rework has kind of become a little bit of a problem. Nut still does incredible damage. Nothing really surprising there. Alright, sorry. Pele coming out, solid solo laner. She's got some really crazy information coming out now. Like, her sustain is absolutely wild. Now, Mercury's also got banned. I missed that. Understandable. He still kind of does good things. Now, Odin coming out first pick here. I do think that's very valuable. The anti-heal from the cage. Gives pretty good lockdown. Used well, can kind of stop Pele ulti throughout. Fairly well used case. Flexible, allowed to go into solo, support, jungle, primarily jungle solo. Cerberus will come out, heavy aggression comp. We've got a beads burner, as well as somebody who's going to force shells out on to the right side team. Pele comes through. Pele doesn't offer a ton besides survivability and damage. Now, Hou-Yi is going to be a relatively safe ADC that will allow for the dive for him to be fairly hard, especially he has an out for Odin, Cage, or Cerberus ult if it comes down to it. I think that's a fairly solid pickup. That gives him kind of a flexibility to it. Hou-Yi can also kind of rotate around. Bacchus is also a fairly strong support currently in the meta. He can literally just like 1v1 carries and beat their ass. It's kind of crazy. Now, I love this frontline draft that comes from the Cerberus Odin, so now we can really lock in either the hyper jungle pressure we want, we don't take the Odin or Cerberus or the Odin into the jungle, or we can save the counter pick for solo lane to allow him to pretty much win that lane or choose a winning character here, get your front line solidified with so many mid lane and ADC options open. We still have Anhur, we have Kali. Oh, Kali aspects disabled, never mind. Apollo's open. Don's Burrows. That's probably going to be an Apollo solo, maybe an Apollo jungle because I saw Beast run that earlier. Don's Burrow can kind of flex, primarily ADC, but can go mid and or jungle. Smite 2, haha, funny. Everyone on this team can kind of rotate where they want to go. Serb's kind of locked into support. I don't see a lot of Serb solo lane, but I think it's not necessarily the worst thing in the world. Especially with you having these big dive comps too. You have good chase down coming out of this right side team for if Hou-Yi either jumps, then Donzabera ulti can kind of chase him down. Apollo ulti to take the team 2 out and kind of group. Odin Cage to lockdown. Apollo, Odin, Cerberus can really just group together in that Apollo ulti and really shove down the team. And Odin lands cages, their whole team's stuck. You know what I mean? There's no really stopping Odin from engaging if Odin has that Apollo ulti in. Disco coming out the mid, solid cooldown mid's gonna have good decent pressure. at least in that late game, as well as early cooldown rotation, kind of turn team fights on their head. Hunbat's solid jungle aspect is just giving Hunbats a stun is kind of crazy. Anyone who's played this game long enough realizes that character was absolutely disgusting before. Now, I know we're going to run Speedy. B-Dubs is going to take Milf mid. Speedy is going to take that Apollo solo. Relatively understandable. Jab is running the ADC. Why are we taking... Oh, we're running Jab ADC. Okay. That's right, because Beast is flexing to support for this game. I do like the aggression. I think this will be a good game to kind of look over too on that aspect. Now, Kuma being jungle, I think is going to open up some doors for the team. I don't think it's necessarily terrible to do. I know Akuma is just a consistently jungle. I've seen him play a couple every now and again. I think it's not necessarily terrible to run. Now, I'm going to have to relearn my keybinds for Beast because I've had him memorized forever. The W. Right, they were primarily looking through Beast POV because he's the one who wants the coaching, but I think it will be generalized looking through all. So I'm going to start through mid lane. Will have pressure over Discordia in my opinion, but probably going to be watching through duo lane this game anyways. Bacchus is running throughout. Still not at a base. Slow back. Want to make sure we're a little faster in this in case they pressure it out. Now I do see you have Bluestone going for that hyper damage. Same with the Bacchus. Doing that multi-tick damage is going to allow you to apply Bluestone over and over and over again. Very consistent damage coming through, as well as that little bit of regen that runs through. That's not necessarily terrible. Now, Cerberus is going to have to use his one to stun out the Bacchus from his belch, more than likely. Danzaburo is going to have to throw his two, but Bacchus can kind of rotate out and kind of get through that with his two. Cerberus is stepping out, warding out that thing, kind of see their rotation patterns. That's perfectly acceptable. Now, I want to see here. I assume they're going to clear faster because Houyi triple bounce. They did not mess that up, I don't think, but 35, they're going to clear that 3 seconds faster. They're going to be there first. Now, Houyi does, if Houyi's crazy with it, he's going to be double bouncing a lot of these aspects. You are running through the Houyi, doing good damage. Houyi got scared. That actually works in that favor. You definitely could have turned and maintained pressure since your cooldowns were up, so keep that in mind. Running at the support, he nice jukes out of the Beast, actually playing out of his fucking mind. Danzaburo stacking on top of the wave. Want to make sure we're not taking that damage from the wave and that. Good poke down on Bacchus. They do have the aggression here, so they can. Wasting our one little bit of poke, nothing crazy. Now we want to make sure we're looking towards the gold camps. Now you're going to be a little delayed because you did kind of go for that poke pressure out instead. Ability is going to be sent through there. Pressuring out the Houyi. Well done. It's crazy how tanks are just able to do that. You are going to die. Oh, you did not die. That's crazy. What does Houyi have? Oh, he has jump. Yeah, you definitely could have died. Going towards Juice camps, they rotate first. I know you're going through pressure, but make sure we're fighting for these farm. Their jungler went that way, so you actually gave that up. I assume that was calm, that you're going to go through there. That is A-okay. Now, how are we going to take the... Maybe it was not calmed, because you guys are gone. Okay, there you go. You're rotating through these back camps. You're going to do fine here. The time's perfectly acceptable. Now they're going to meet you to the neutral camp. They're going to pressure it out first. They have it grouped up. Hoyi's gonna get that free damage out. That is a-okay. Good stun, good poke damage. Disgusting that tank's gonna do that. Bacchus has flap. Nice. He mistimed the shit out of that. He definitely could have fucking. They could have. I don't know. Maybe they could have killed you. Maybe they couldn't. I don't understand. I feel like Donza doesn't have the good hyper pressure. Now he's going. I just realized it's conduit gem Donza Burrow. He is going for the clear. He's going to get poked through. Bacchus is going to be able to actually smack the hell out of him and secure the camp. Well done in that aspect. Donza Burrow. He's one down. Cooldowns are up. Bacchus abilities are going to come up shortly. They are pressuring because Donza took that extra poke for doing the camp solo. They are going to pressure out that purple buff. Now, purple buff is easier in your all's aspect. They do have camps, but you're going to shove the wave, I assume, and then try to invade the purple buff on that side. And give that up. You need to fast clear with the Donza Burrow and then go invade that purple. You know that the jungler's over on the right side for you guys, so, or well, your all's left, so that way solo side, so you guys need to do it. Now you didn't clear the camp, so you forfeited your camp for free and then didn't invade it out. Kuma gets the first blood on the jungler. Well done. Or not jungler, solo laner. Well done. Good pressure out through there. Nice poke out onto the Hoyi. He's gonna force his jump. He did not jump. Well disciplined. Bacchus is doing that. Going for the camp. Jump onto that, stab that, you get out in time. They're just not coordinating correctly to where they could definitely pressure you out a little harder. That works in your favor. Neutral camp comes up in 10 seconds. You're posturing. You have half mana. They're pretty much full of resources. We'll say like 80-90%. Akuma is rotating here with the Hun Bats. Relatively safe. Akuma will get there first if the engage happens. He jumps in, cages out, Bacchus gets interrupted. Bats is going to be able to fear no evil inside of it though, and actually force way too many things out. You guys are all going to collapse into that grouped up versus Hun Bats, Hoyi, Bacchus. They're going to pull Gold Fury now. Super high pressure fight around Gold Fury fight, stacked up way too heavily in terms of their team comp being Bacchus, Hoyi, Bats. B-Dubs is going to be a little far forward. He's just going to get fucking melted. High rotation that side. That's really unfortunate for you guys. Make sure we're paying attention to when these fights are going to happen. Obviously, it's around 5-minute marks. They're going to be looking, trying to get these early Gold Furies, and they managed to get that through that aggression and overcommitment into a tank per se, being Bacchus, who's Belch, has his 1 prots, and Yogi's pretty much I want to say finished. I assume he actually didn't have it finished at that time, but I assume he's backed at some point to get that. At least a couple, T2s of it. I missed that aspect. I assume he's got pretty much what you have here. Assume he had that. Now, hyper pressure out here. We are farther back, but we do not have wards set up in there. They're going for your purple timer. Yep. Going through. Bacchus is gonna pretty much free cast.
Your right tower is under attack.
Poke out. Oh, real super follow up. Late 2 out of jab, but that's going to be okay. Big Bacchus damage. Everyone's grouped in. Pulls him into tower. Big damage. Bacchus goes through, finishes out. Well done. Technically, I feel like Donza could have got that with the 1, but it doesn't matter. He dies. Good shit. Your purple timer's up. Now, you do have this offset that Bacchus is only going to be dead for 4 seconds, but you guys are able to clear that back, reset, and then you guys should have fast travel into right, but you should have done, in my opinion, you should have gone through and gotten the wave XP before backing, considering you have fast TP. Hou rotated into mid lane for the mid lane objective here. They got a good fight going through there. Apollo follows them through, dash out. You're gonna hyper pressure. You're gonna get you dumped in as they dump their ults. They're gonna poke you out pretty heavily back through. I assume fast E. Yeah, fast EP's down 219. You have no way to re-engage that. Apollo's getting gone on. Nice shell. Help sustain him out. Pressure out through the Hou and the Bacchus. Bacchus gets comboed, but does not die through enough poke. You guys are grouped though. You get it. That's well in your favor. Well done. What are we looking here? We're either getting the wave or we're leaving. Okay, you're rotating over to rocks. Oh, where are you rotating to? Okay, definitely. Okay, yeah, you go to rocks. Now, what is our plan for being over here? Ward pressure isn't necessarily crazy coming out of you guys. Jumping in is hyper aggressive there for their team being there and you guys not really having your ward set up. That is a super aggressive jump in, leaving yourself wide open. Odin Cage gets wasted too, as well as the fact that Gold Fury is going to be spawning in 40 seconds, meaning those ultis, at least for Odin, is going to be down for this next objective push. Same with Oracle's Pyromancer is going to spawn in, I believe, like a minute. I don't know why I can't think of that right now. About a minute. Want to make sure that we're prepping and using these abilities for a specific purpose outside of just killing. Killing in this game is not necessarily insane. It's good to get your picks, but you want to make sure you're doing it for something. Right now, you don't have Yogi, so your sustain is not going to be consistently insane compared to the Bacchus, who's going to have massive sustain with the Yogis as well as his one. Invading camps, jungler mindset is there, but they are running into your Odin. You're going to have to reset, clear it out. Bacchus is just going to jump away, I feel like, unless you guys combo the shit out of him, which it looks like everyone is either missing abilities or using abilities into Bacchus. Knock-up immunity. Everyone uses that. You guys will have a little bit of distance, but if they go through and pressure it out, Bacchus is going to have his jump soon. Affected by Mori 3. It's actually really well done, so they don't get to compete. Now, if they don't have crazy wards set up, but you guys are pulling this in their face after just spending a lot. Bats is gonna ulti through, get a lot of the pressure out. Apollo gets to stick through. Everyone's very grouped though. This could go very poorly. You guys get your pick, but Disco misses the combo. That works out in your favor. Everyone's not grouped. Apollo's in fucking left doing purple buff. Your whole team's grouped. That works in your favor. You guys will be able to pressure out this Gold Fury. Nothing crazy. They can't really hyper contest. You are out of mana though, but good pressure out into that. You guys should be able to get that fairly uncontested. Hou got through the gap to do it, but he did not get there in time. Rocks, you have all your farm up. You want to make neutral through. Where are you trying to create this space going forward from the support? You know, you, the jungler, and the mid laner kind of get to control the pace of where you are rotating throughout, and you're not doing that. You kind of start to fall off or soak XP for too much. Now, mid lanes are both the same level, despite being 2-1-2, 1-1-2, which is not crazy. Book stacks are going through. Disco has staff. So Mori's going to be on a little slower of a climb, while Disco is going to be able to do a higher burst, at least in this early game. Right now, but I mean, MILF just swings, so it's not going to be that crazy. But do keep in mind that she can just essentially lock you guys into a reset. Sansa Burrow's getting hard walked in, trembled through. He's going to get eaten with the ulti. He's going to die. We kind of wasted Bacchus ulti there. That's acceptable.
The Pyromancer has arrived.
What are we doing here? Okay, we're at Pyro. Let's get that pressure. Disco is looking. She's probably gonna staff. No, she ulties. She too thin air. Didn't staff. Okay. I don't know what the fuck I just watched. But heard. I do not quite understand what Daddy Ukes' fucking plan was there. They do get a lot of that pressure. And you guys have your group, right? You have pressure throughout, but you do not have ward pressure, at least in terms of knowing information across the map. So we want to make sure that we are, especially as like support beasts, is making sure that you're pressuring out a lot of this information to ward for your team. See, like here you have it, you know that purple's up, but if had you guys known that purple was up and you had your ward set up to where no you were backing, you would be able to invade that and not necessarily lose anything from that. While that wave is kind of collapsing into mid laner loses that, which is very beneficial for you guys. OE is rotating out through there. Reds are up, gold camps are up. Rocks are up, but they have pressure. Is this turning into a big fight? Homebats is kind of looking. Disco got decent poke, but it's early game Disco, so it's not anything crazy. Akaz is hopping. The objective's pretty much over. There's not much to fight for. Next thing will be pretty much oracles for neutral camps. That way you guys have pressure on gold when it spawns in 60 seconds. Apollo is ulting. We're tower diving the Pele. Hyper up. Don't know if we needed the whole squad for that. I'm going to keep it a solid stack with you guys. She dies. Not going to be down for any notable time outside of the fact that she got hyper pressure through there. Now you guys might be able to force a little bit of tower damage through. You want to make sure you get yourself set up. 20 seconds down on the Naga, so it's 27 seconds on the Gold Fury. You want to make sure we're putting ourselves in a position to be able to apply that, be that wards, objectives, but you guys do have wards set up more. Now they do have a ward set up on the Naga directly, but you guys have surrounding wards. They have entrances to mid lane covered, so both teams are kind of going to know what's going on. Them more so exactly what's happening to Naga. They do have a gap in terms of where they can walk through. They're hunting. Bats is looking for an out of position play. Bacchus is kind of setting out pitting. Bacchus can sustain though. He's got Yogis in his one. Now, what are we? Mori backs at spawn of Naga. Okay, Apollo does not have his ulti up. They could force something heavily here due to the missed time backs. They're not going to force anything crazy. Well, they do get a little bit out, but Pele's going to walk through. Donza ulti's done. Cage down on Odin. Odin's kind of getting walked at behind. He dies. Serb's trying to peel the jungler. I feel like you kind of just walk at them. Everyone's hyper grouped up now, taking massive damage. Very unfortunate. MILF is running in circles very well for stalling, but she still dies. So that means that whole time you're trying to peel for her definitely doesn't go in your favor. Pele runs through. And they clean up literally due to A, split team fight, B, you guys are not at timers, right? Like B-Dub's backed as Naga spawned and you guys aren't ready and prepared for Naga when it goes through and controlling that map pressure. So they did punish you fairly heavily for that. Also, why are we doing ability Donza Burrow? They got that. Odin dies. I mean, I respect the attempt to try to steal it, but there's so much farm up on the map. I'd almost just rather you guys like 5-man group into fucking mid and get that as much pressure through there as well as do your farm. Or you do it. Because now we're kind of waiting, staring at them. Okay, yeah, okay. I was like, you're AFK. There's no way. There's no way. Or just, in fact, staring at them. Yeah, he's resetting. Understandable. wouldn't be anything else besides the Smite Pause League. Oh, we're on pause. Disco pretty much missed her kit. A little bit of poke out of Danza, but they get that pressure throughout. Now, diving super heavy into this. Good poke throughout. So you guys are going to be able to pressure out Pyro or Gold Fury and force these back timers. Now, my assumption, yeah, is all because they got the Moonlight phase. All of their fastbacks are up, so this is not necessarily a fully safe Gold Fury. Now, Pele is going to be late to back because she did the T1 tower, so you guys get that gold. This is not going to be hyper contested. Bacchus is super late. Bacchus might jump. Oh my god, I thought he got that. I was about to crash out. Okay, in my opinion, the enemy team kind of just goes to Pyro. While you guys push throughout, but they're kind of walking in one by one, and that's really working in your guys' favor. So now you guys get to rotate straight to Pyro, because they kind of won the war of attrition into that, wasting the stun. You didn't do anything besides hit a Pele that's just gonna regen it all. We are not making up our minds, I think, with our Fire Giant. B-Dubs being a little low. B-Dubs gets to call that out. Pressure throughout, you are holding that while B-Dubs gets his Aegis popped because he walked up hyper. They're gonna get the kill onto Pele. That does work. Pele's gonna be down for 33 seconds. That gives you guys time to at least get your Pyro reset and get ward set through a fire. You guys are pretty much in a position, not necessarily by much, but in team comp and build order. Guys will be able to pressure out something. Danza doing the build he is. The longer the game goes, the better it goes for you guys. Paulo does have his full 4th item. What are you looking to get? Bacchus being ahead of you is going to be a little struggle because he is just good. AoE silence and Sile. Is going to be hyper pressure throughout. Hoi is pressed up extremely far, trying to bait out a fight on Danza. Danza walks straight into him without having any ward pressure. Danza ulties, he just eats it, dies, or anything else happens. Now there's 2 on there, so you guys are going to try to rip Fire Giant, but I do not think you have the damage to do this. You are primarily a bunch of tanks trying to do an objective. Just go ulties that, counter ults. Cage's on the ground though, but no one's taking any damage. Odin jump, flops into Bacchus, beads out of him, stunned throughout. Bacchus gets to walk away. Pele's getting chased down. Apollo's also getting chased down. They're gonna run this all the way down to the end, and they might be able to force a T1, T2 out of this, and or Fire Giant for free. Akuma is literally just chasing the disco in the back. No one is assisting. The Hoi is finally trying to help him out. He's gonna clean it out anyways. They can definitely pull Fire Giant the second they look, if they have wards to set up for you to back. But Danza does come back full HP with his ultimate soon, I believe. Not necessarily soon, it's probably like halfway, but should be a relative reset. It's just gonna reset. Everyone's gonna reset. Now they are winning in the map war of attrition in terms of, you know, towers. T2s on side lanes are halfway split. T1 is not necessarily that much different, so it's not going to matter too crazy heavily. But they are maintaining their farm slightly better across the board. Sure, we're 2 splitting. Kind of sitting here not necessarily doing much with the Bacchus. I mean, jumping. Hitting on people heard. Meanwhile, your jungler's getting invaded.
The pyromancer has arrived.
Hyper pressure out. Odin is gonna get walked through. Genji's on Odin. They are posturing for Gold Fury, looking to get a gank onto duo lane. They are showing up on wards. Odin is hiding in a bush. He sees bats. He's going to counter engage first because he pressured through. Ho Yi is not necessarily going to die immediately. He dies first. Odin is playing like he's full damage, but he's bruiser, so he's not going to do crazy. It's also not coordinated very well, where like Don's is just ulting through that setup. You guys are going to slowly bleed in one after the other. MILF is going to die in the back, and then you're going to run through. So they get a Phoenix here. They don't have to back. They can just run it down. Yeah, because by the time they would back and do stuff, you guys would be up and able to contest with fast TPs, etc. So they will look for a T2 here and more than likely get a Phoenix. The only person going to be up is the Odin with no cage, but they are walking away. Looks like they're going to go for Gold Fury here. I guess the time for minion travel will be a little farther than they need, but they... Oh, you guys actually have both the bombs. I thought they had both the bombs. That is my fault. They're going to get that gold set up. Second Gold Fury for them. Essentially going to be a full reset. They all will have to back, so you guys can try to at least get Pyromancer in a retaliatory manner. But they got gold, try to get something out of it, shove out the waves, etc. before they all get back. They all do not have fast travel. So, I could have ripped something or at least set up an ambush on him. That is Magi. No, it's not Magi. What the fuck? Why does he have a bubble? Set up. See, now we're pulling this now and not 20 seconds ago. Going to be grouped and prepped out. Apollo is going to be splitting the wave. Pele's rotating first to do blue buff and then possibly show up to the fight. Using the wing gust in front of you guys actually works really well because Serb short range dash. Odin using his dash kind of cucks them. Hits the disco. Disco takes a good bit of poke, but don't think it's going to be hyper effective. Odin is standing up there, hyper pressure. Moonlight phase applies in 44 seconds. We pulled this. They all went to Apollo to try to gank him. Why the fuck are we trying to gank at Apollo? You guys are going to be able to pressure this out halfway, but they're going to be able to spend by the time they get there. You guys get it, but they're going to run straight into whoever they can. Cage out of him. Good for the Pele counter, but they're spending throughout. He didn't get Mez. Big poke, standing too close together. Odin goes through. He gets actually canceled out because he gets hit by Disco ulti. Odin's losing his shred very fast. You guys are losing this poke war right before the Naga. Or not the Naga, the mid ritual. Stun out through them, but not crazy damage. Bacchus up downs actually kills himself. That's crazy, but you guys are still hyper grouped up against a team that punishes grouping super heavily. Beats down, he has to leave. Pele's gonna dive and live forever. They actually shove out the tower to get him through. Odin's gonna up down. He misses. Oh, that's crazy. I called that before he actually did it. Well hidden from them. Using the stun through. Odin actually kills them. Nice up down from that. Counterplay. Fairly well played. MILF gets poked out even more. Should be fine in a free rotation. You guys have the base number advantage, but they have players, so they will be able to get Naga and then look towards pressuring Fire Giant. Now, your guys are really... You guys have 3 bombs. So this is your guys' big play, as if they can't necessarily rush Fire Giant super safely because you have been playing the bomb game. Right? They have a lead across the board, but not very long, and that will start to equate out. There are only 4-ish K up, which is nothing crazy. Disco ulti through. He dies. She at least gets her ultied out. We're hitting autos. We're missing autos. Big Sag. Milf is running through. Bacchus should be able to kill that dude. Runs through Milf. Knocks up. Fairly well done. Apollo's still Giga Deep. Slow out of Hunbats. Going through. He actually ulties the Apollo. That's acceptable. I mean, he at least gets the kill. They're going to eat the Donza ult. AoE. They get double stunned into the taunt, into the combo. When I see the combo ability, he stuns it through. That's Blink out of the Odin. Gets him out of the stun. Pele gets through. Big stun though. Tower's not dying. Okay, Tower finally dies. That works in their favor. Everyone is fairly low, and an extended fight in this situation could go very poorly. Disco having her ult up. Now we are rotating to Fire Giant with 2 people less than a quarter HP. I know you have regen set up, but this could go very poorly in this interaction just because of how low people are. You are doing damage, but Don's getting poked out, ulting onto him. He's going to get stunned out. Up, down, cage down. Hou-Yi ult. He's going to go through and actually collapse on everyone. We're doing the grouping thing again, which is literally their whole team comp. I don't know how many times you guys have to get hit by fucking Hou-Yi ult and Disco 2 to realize that you guys cannot group. Like, Odin cage, good. But do not fall for bait of Odin cage where you guys think you are necessarily safe in that Odin cage. That makes sense. I feel like you guys are hyper analyzing this Odin cage to think that you guys are super safe to be able to do this. And that's gotten you guys killed a few times because you guys aren't using the cage for like a... You guys are using the cage as a go button and not a like utility button. Or like a peel option, you know what I mean? Especially if we're going big bruiser, you know what I mean? We're kind of not forcing a lot of these options to kind of go throughout. We want to make sure that we are playing the wave gameplay. Go in, go out, go in, go out, go in, go out. We don't want to hard commit to a lot of stupid stuff, especially if there's so many abilities that are still on the board. Especially around a firefight. Like, Odin Cage is not like the biggest thing to pressure out, especially because they are double shell. Double shell does not make a great it makes Odin way less viable for them going Giga Shell, right? You guys only have one shell, which obviously isn't the game of the game, but for them, that is essentially they will always have a shell up for the Odin Cage. Meaning if you guys collapse into that, they're going to shell, and then they're going to go hyper aggro. Serbs going through, double ultis, you hit the tank and beads targets. Pele does get melted, but you guys are taking big damage. Hou-Yi still has thing, blink down, grouped again. We grouped again on top of each other. Loose spread saves you guys this game, but you guys are so hyper stacked on top of each other that you guys are absolutely killing yourself. Bats has the ability to chase here. He 100% can. Does he have blink? Eek. That's crazy. I almost caught homeboy lacking. That's good. Again, 2 people dead. Big fucking poke out of Donza. That's a Phoenix. Oh, Bacchus dies. Oh no, Bacchus dies. They don't get anything. Oh, he runs throughout. They're going to rotate across the map. 2 people dead for 10 seconds. Their support is dead for 45. They're going to clear out jungle. Keep you guys from having buffs like red buff, blue buff for cooldown. Red buff percentage damage, blue buff for cooldown. Poking throughout. We got 143 seconds on Fire Giant. It's warding this early is not going to be hyper worth, but you guys are holding bombs relatively well. Into that aspect, you're not necessarily full spending them, but you could be using them to just take like towers off the map while you can get that pressure. I mean, at the end of the day, if you guys have 3 bombs this late in the game, 30 minutes, you guys kind of end the game. off of one team fight. It doesn't matter if you, how many of these T2s are up. You clear one, you clear Phoenix, and it's done. Now, what is our primary goal in terms of pressuring out? Pyro comes up soon, so you guys can start to look to get maybe 4 bombs set up. Make sure we're having ward pressure actually prepped for a lot of these things. There's really no wards on this map except for you guys in your own jungle. Not being on time. Apollo's gonna steal that. Oh, he's not. I really thought he was. They just let him do it. Apollo gets knocked up. He's gonna get crit throughout. Big damage. He's fine. Odin was looking to engage. Bats is super powered. Stampede engage. Disco missed the ulti. Very well fought. They will pressure out. And they're gonna, okay, they're probably gonna play around Gold Fury here in about 1:30. Nothing super hyper pressure. They work to get these wards out, and they're gonna be able to control that Gold Fury. Gold Fury will be able to disable those Phoenix, or not disable, but debuff those Phoenixes to a point to where they can siege really heavily, because all that has failed them in that siege is Bacchus dying. The Phoenix damage. Now, we're backing 30 seconds. That's plenty of time to get ward pressure set up for this EFG. They have a ward on Gold Fury, so they know if you guys try to do Gold Fury, they get to do EFG for free. Now, we do need sentries set up around this stuff. You need to start controlling this map presence, actually making sure that we understand where and how they're going to do and what vision they have for us. So that way Odin has a good flank rotation. He's able to understand where he's going to be able to walk in, as well as you guys know who's pathing where and how much vision they have of you. Although getting poked here is the worst possible scenario for you guys. Now you're down one guy for fucking 60 seconds. Have it pressed out. No wards are set up. Only one deep ward next to mid entrance for you guys. They're going to force that out. Milf is super far away. Donza Burrow is... See this fight. Milf goes through. He's going to clean out Milf through there. Donza's trying to fucking end the game. Is this a thing? Oh my god. He can do it. You guys are actually just stalling long enough for Donza to solo the Titan.
Your Titan is under attack.
He's gonna Titan! We full committed to this Donza fight. Oh, that's game. Oh, big bounce. He's dead. What did he just get stunned by? Mantle Discord? You have Discord? Yeah, Mantle of Discord. That's crazy. He spaces differently. Dead, and that's really poor. Now you guys can just fucking Apollo ulti and triple bomb and haha funny end the game. Really, that's all it takes is you guys just have them show up on a ward, and then you Apollo ulti all the way down and triple bomb it. You, Apollo, Cerberus, and Odin should all go into his ulti and just triple bomb fight. They have double bomb. That's big damage. He's dead. Generational greed trying to cheese it. I'm glad you guys lose this for trying to cheese a fucking scrim. Sorry, not sorry. That was criminal. That's just, I'm just disappointed in you guys. Honestly, that was crazy. I don't know why we're trying to fucking rely on cheese strats instead of team fights. It's not gonna fucking insane. That's disappointing. But GG's.